everyone. My name is Natalie and welcome to my channel. I have been an owner and daycare provider for over 20 years here in beautiful Park City, Utah. Today's question comes from someone I know, anonymous, but let's read the question out. Okay, providers, question for you. How do you prevent pickup chaos, especially when all the parents decide to pick up at the same time and chit chat with you and with the other parents? Kids love to go wild at this time, but I've reached a point where I have to say something. I have 2 kids of my own. One is an infant and the other one is a toddler. And I had an incident yesterday where he got shook hard in a bouncer he was in by an older sibling who came in to pick up with their parent. What would you say or do? How do you eliminate this problem? Wow, this is a really good question, and I figured I would take the time to answer this question in each part. How do you prevent pickup chaos, especially when all the parents decide to pick up at the same time and chit chat with you and the other parents? Okay, we'll go start from there. That is a difficult one, especially when you're an in-home daycare, because me personally, I love the community. I love fostering a community. I love fostering parents getting together and chit-chatting and having the kids play. Now, if I need to step in, I do. That's the key. If I see older siblings starting to go wild, I'll be like, no, in front of the parent. And letting them know, I'm like, I can't have this. Or I'll say out loud, I'll be like, I can't have, this is go home time. This is Miss Natalie. Miss Natalie's done. I am done. And I say it in a joking manner, but I'm getting my point across. Like, I'm being nice about it. And usually that will send the message to the parents, be like, okay, rein your kids in. That's thing one. Kids love to go wild at that time, but I've reached a point where I have to say something. That is true. So even in my own daycare environment, I've got kids that come down or parents that come down with the older siblings. And for the most part, they're great. I don't have any issue because they get in and then they get out. But sometimes, they want to go wild. And then that's when I kind of step in and I'm like, okay, and then I'll be like, Miss Natalie's cleaning up now. Miss Natalie is done for the day. Toys are done. Toys have to go night-night. And I'm done. So it's time. And then they usually listen. It's very rare when I have to actually say something to the parent and be like, okay, I'm done, kind of thing. And I'll say it like that because I'll be like, I'm done. I've had a full day and it's my time. It's time to go. And usually I don't have a problem with parents staying, even if it's after 4 o'clock, because I close at 4. I don't have a problem with parents staying after 4 if I don't have plans. And if I do have plans, I will let them know ahead of time. I'll be like, hey, heads up. And I always say like heads up to their face at drop off. Heads up, I've got to go here or I've got to do this by 4:30. So don't be offended if I have your kid up and ready to get kicked out the door. I'm just kidding. But I'll say if, we're upstairs waiting with shoes and coats and stuff on, don't be offended because I have somewhere to go. And parents are super cool because they have that perceived expectation that, okay, she's got somewhere to go and cool. And then they don't get butthurt, right? So that's thing 2. You had an incident yesterday where he got shook hard in the bouncy. Right there. If that happened, that's where I would lose my shit, so to speak. I would be like, no. And I'd say to the parent, I'm like, this cannot happen. This cannot happen. And I would say it like this because that's a safety situation and that is just unacceptable, in my opinion. Absolutely not. They're coming into my home and I expect the same respect that they would expect from me if I was in their home. So it's not a free-for-all. I don't have Wild Kingdom in here. And everything is orderly. Yes, it's fun, but I've got my rules and that's why my program works. And that's why my kids are well behaved and happy and balanced because they know what's expected of them. And if a baby got shook, your baby got shook, that's when I would step in immediately, like, no. And I would tell that kid, absolutely not unacceptable, in front of the parent. And if the parent didn't like that, I'd be like, go somewhere else. Simple as that. Because I'm not having kids do that just being crazy. Not happening. Not in my house. Hell no. And that's it. Communicate with your parents. How do you eliminate this problem? Communicate with the parents. Every single one of them. Say, listen, I love chit-chatting. It's all good, but we've got to keep the siblings at bay. And I have not had to have this conversation with any of my parents. So parents, if you're listening, it's not you. I promise. And that will do it. And that will do it for this episode. Just one question, and I thought it was a very important question, especially for new providers, new owners of an in-home daycare that come up with that, have this situation arise with parents coming in at the same time when pickup is at, say, 5 o'clock and everyone arrives at the same time. If you've got siblings that are coming in from after school and they all start running amok, I think it's a really good question, and I felt like I needed to spend just the time on that particular question by itself. And that will wrap this session up of Daycare Owner Answers Your Questions. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share this channel out with all of your fellow providers and parents. I think it's great. I'll see you on the flip side. Subscribe, and goodbye. Have a great rest of your